The cold night air carried a howling wind, slicing through the dense forest like a blade. The moon hung high and full, its silvery glow bathing the earth in an eerie light. Gabriel Van Helsing, the infamous monster hunter, stood in the shadows of the trees, his coat billowing like a spectre in the wind. His hand tightened around his silver crossbow, the weapon gleaming with lethal purpose. Tonight, he hunted not a beast, but a nightmare, a werewolf whose savagery had left villages in ruins and bodies torn asunder. The trail had led him here, deep into the heart of the cursed forest. Blood smeared the leaves and branches, a grim breadcrumb trail of the creature's most recent victims. The stench of death hung heavy in the air, mingling with the damp scent of moss and decay. A low growl rumbled through the darkness, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Van Helsing froze, his sharp eyes scanning the shadows. He was no stranger to the tricks of werewolves, their ability to stalk and strike like phantoms. Suddenly, the beast lunged from the darkness, its monstrous form illuminated by the moonlight. The werewolf was massive, its fur a matted tangle of black and grey, its eyes burning like embers. Its claws gleamed, dripping with the blood of its last kill, and its fanged maw snarled with primal fury. Van Helsing fired his crossbow, the silver bolt streaking through the air. The werewolf twisted mid-leap, the bolt grazing its side. It hit the ground in a feral crouch, blood dripping from the wound. The beast snarled, but did not retreat. Instead, it prowled forward, its predatory gaze locked on the hunter. The two adversaries circled each other, predator and prey blurred in the chaos of the moment. Van Helsing moved with precision, his movements deliberate and measured. He fired another bolt, this one striking the werewolf's shoulder. The beast roared in pain, but barely faltered, its rage only stoked by the sting of silver. The werewolf lunged again, its claws slashing through the air. Van Helsing ducked, his blade flashing in the moonlight as he counterattacked. The silver blade sliced through fur and flesh, leaving a deep gash across the werewolf's chest. Blood sprayed the ground, dark and steaming in the cold night air, but the beast was relentless. With a swipe of its massive paw, it sent Van Helsing sprawling, his weapon skittering across the forest floor. The hunter rolled to his feet, drawing a silver dagger from his belt. The werewolf charged, its jaws snapping inches from his face. Van Helsing drove the dagger into the werewolf's side, twisting it deep. The beast howled in agony, its blood soaking his hands. But even wounded, it fought with ferocity, slamming him against a tree with bone-crushing force. Van Helsing's vision blurred, but he held onto the dagger, refusing to let go. With a final burst of strength, he pulled a vial from his coat, a concoction of silver nitrate and wolfsbane. He smashed it against the werewolf's wound, the liquid sizzling as it ate into the flesh like acid. The beast screamed, its body convulsing as the poison spread through its veins, but the werewolf was not done yet. With its last reserves of strength, it sank its claws into Van Helsing's side, tearing through flesh and bone. Blood poured from the wound, soaking the ground beneath them. Van Helsing, gasping for breath, reached for his crossbow. The werewolf loomed over him, its blooded maw opening wide for the killing blow. In one fluid motion, Van Helsing raised the weapon and fired. The bolt struck true, piercing the beast's heart. The werewolf staggered, its growls fading into pained whimpers. Its body began to shift, the monstrous features melting away to reveal the form of a man. He lay still, his human eyes wide and lifeless, his body broken and blooded. Van Helsing stared at the corpse, his chest heaving with exertion. The moonlight illuminated the scene of carnage, the blood-soaked ground, the shattered trees, the lifeless body of the beast. The forest fell silent, the only sound the distant rustling of leaves in the wind. Van Helsing dropped to his knees, clutching his side as blood seeped through his fingers. He knew he had won, but the victory felt hollow. The beast had been a man once, perhaps a victim of circumstance, cursed by forces beyond his control. But Van Helsing could not dwell on such thoughts. His work was not one of mercy, but of necessity, he stood, his body battered and broken, and began the long walk back to civilization. The forest watched him go, the shadows swallowing him whole. Somewhere in the distance, a wolf howled a reminder that the hunt was never truly over.